Alrighty, everyone, how are we doing? What a track, by the way. Isn't Return to a Dream a good track? It has quickly become one of my favorite Destiny tracks, probably of all time. I love that track. Alright, here we go. Let me get on in here. I see all the new tadpoles. Thank you guys so much. Nerd with the 7 months. Thank you so much. No, I honestly think... Here, sorry, I'm just managing music on my end. Turn it down slightly. How's that music volume compared to me? How's that sounding? Let me actually, you know what? I have two monitors. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm being inefficient. That's what I'm doing. Here we go. Okay, it's good, pretty good. I can modify it if need be. Let me go ahead and switch us over to the intermission screen. I haven't actually set up my camera yet, so hopefully this is looking okay. All right, how are we looking, everyone? How are we looking? We got a bit of new stuff. You might notice the new setup. A little loud if music gets higher. That's true. That's true. Yeah, we got a bit of a new setup. I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I think it looks good. I also got to, obviously, as you guys know, because I mentioned last time, I moved within the last like a month or two, but all of this stuff that's behind me, none of that is new. That just wasn't on screen in the background of the last place. So that's one of the reasons I was so excited about moving, because when we moved last time to our last place, I didn't do a very good job planning out the background. So all of that stuff, that was all like, where was it? It was to my right, but you couldn't see any of it on the background. You can see the J's, which the J's actually aren't on screen. They're over in the closet, but you couldn't see everything else. How do you guys feel about the new stream overlay? Do you like it? If people aren't vibing with it, I'll change it. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It is like Splatoon,
so
isn't it? Hey Iron, thanks a lot. I appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate you.
$2 Australian dollars and
do you like it? Yeah, you see the Godzilla
cents.
poster? That was to my left at the old place. You like the new layout? I figure as things, you know, maybe start to change a little bit, and as we start to branch out a little bit more, yeah, especially this month. I'll tell you guys more about that in a second. What time is it, by the way? Let me keep refreshing. I don't want to miss the stream. I figure it was time. Here we go. Figure it was time for a bit of a rebrand. Let me go ahead and turn this off because the stream is up. Looks like it'll be starting soon. This is gonna be, oh, look at that key art. That is badass looking. Oh my god, dude, the Grim back there. Oh, that's cool. Come on, that's sick. That is so sick. Here, let me go and axe their live chat. So we'll be keeping a pulse on this. So I actually forgot that this was even a thing that was happening. Ruby reminded me, dude, Fickrell was massive. Unless that's just like highly stylized. Did he get bigger? I think he got bigger. He definitely got bigger. Yeah, we were on Lethal yesterday. Actually, expect a video on that soon. So this month, the schedule, I have it written down in my notebook. Have I ever showed you guys my notebook? Axelochi got me the notebook when I was at 33.6 thousand subscribers. That was 2022. She got me this notebook and I've been decking it out. I actually got this ribbon sticker at GCX. There was a really cool vendor there that had like a bunch of cool stickers. Also got, and this is something else I need to put up. Where is it? There it is. I need to put this up in the background, but I also got this like really cool ribbon print. It was an awesome vendor. I think I have their card somewhere. I'll have to share it. But yeah, and I also have some like comic books and stuff I want to put up back there. So the background's gonna look a lot better as time goes on. I think it looks pretty cool even now. But anyway. Oh right, the schedule. So the schedule for this month is the following. With give or take some things that might add Smash or Pass the Fanatic. Pass, because I don't remember who the Fanatic is. I don't remember who the Fanatic is. Yeah, do you see the plushes back there? Can you see those? I'm not actually sure. I think you can see them. Yeah. There's the Screeb, the Fallen, Riven, the Worm, one I got from GCX, and two that Ella got me, Hexalochi. So October, the video schedule is the next video coming that I'm working on right now is the Psychology of a Screeb. I know a lot of people were waiting for that one. I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then we're doing a caveman raid, which you'll see what that means when we get to it. And then, of course, the contest mode dungeon, which we'll probably see. Oh, Fickrell is the Fanatic. Oh, sorry, I'm an idiot. I thought they were two different people. I was like, you know, I swear they're the same person. Yeah. That makes sense. Anyway, Caveman Raid, Contest Dungeon, Solo Dungeon, because you know we got to do the Solo Dungeon. And then we also have some Halloween videos planned. So, and in addition to that, of the Halloween things you can expect, so I want to get like 3 videos out that week. Shadows of Evil, Easter egg. So that'll be the first COD video. Shadows of Evil Easter egg. Lethal Company, which we played last night, and it was fucking crazy. It was a ton of mods. It was a lot of fun. And then Ruby, you might be happy to hear this, the FNAF raid. I want to do the FNAF raid, and that'll be like our trio of Halloween videos. So it should be pretty fun. And then also in there, these are the other 2 videos that I don't know if they're going to come out in October, but they might. The full Nuzlocke, so the entire thing all stitched together, it's like a 6-hour video. Hey, Iron, with the 15 Australian dollars, thank you so much. Hey, unfortunately, we already have our team picked out, but thank you so much, Iron. Seriously, thank you. Yeah, Ruby, we got to get everyone who participates in that, like, to look like the animatronics. I need to figure out what raid we're doing. But, the full Nuzlocke is something that I'll be working on. I have a couple of extra scenes planned for it that I'm going to put in there that kind of just help to bridge everything together. I'm planning on remastering all of the Witch Queen scenes. So all, what is it, 3 of them? I think there's 3 of them. They're the ones that are lagging behind the most. So I'm going to go through and redo all of them so that they look better. And I went back and forth on that for a while. I didn't know if I wanted to do it, but I'm probably going to do it. I wanted to do Deepstone, but I also want it to be a reasonable difficulty. In Deepstone, there's a lot of communication there, because basically what the FNAF raid is going to be is I'm not actually going to be playing the game. I'm going to have 6 people playing the game, and they're all muted. They can't talk to each other. I'm watching their screens and calling everything out for them. Deepstone Crypt is a great fit because it's like exo-themed, animatronic, you know? But it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. Yeah, I'm the night guard, and they're all the cameras, and I'm controlling all of them. So that's the plan for the FNAF raid. And it should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun. But, and then the other video that I don't know, because there's just so much going on in October. I really don't know how it's, if it's going to happen. Uh-oh, hold on, is the stream? Okay, I thought the stream was buffering. Is the Pokemon, what's it called? Glowing Garnet Shiny Lock. I got everything set up the other day. Glowing Garnet is a hacked version of Omega Ruby that I really like, because all the shiny Pokemon are different, and it's 1 in 100 shiny odds. And there's also Delta Pokemon, which are like, say you have like a Torchic. This is actually one example. Torchic is an ice type, so they're a bit different and they look different. So that'll be fun. We'll be streaming that as well on here. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I have everything set up. There's a lot of other stuff I need to get through right now, like the Psychology of a Screep. Yeah, Halloween themed plans, Shadows of Evil, Easter egg, how not to do Shadows of Evil, Lethal Company, and FNAF raid and Destiny. Those are the 3. Those are the 3. I'm not fond of BO6 Zombies. Bro, it hasn't even come out yet. Give it a chance. Spoken like a true Activision employee. No, I'm looking forward to BO6. I had a lot of fun in the beta. The beta was really fun. But Liberty Falls is not it, man. It's not it. Last Zombies played was Cold War, and it was actually decent fun. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. You're not a shill? Okay, Ruby. Okay, I believe you. I believe you. The beta sucked. I thought it was good. I thought it was good, but I'm also not like a huge COD person. Liberty Balls is gonna be peak. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Anyway, let's actually talk about Revenant. Why don't we? Oh my God, X-Man with the $50 super chat. Thank you so much, X-Man. I seriously appreciate you. I'm back. I know, I saw you beneath, what was it, the raid lock? I think it was the raid lock. Thank you so much, X-Man. Seriously, thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, my friend. You're always around here supporting hardcore, more hardcore than you should be. Seriously, thank you. Wait, I just saw something I need to comment on. Exo Zombies felt okay, and then someone else, Exo Zombies was cool. Unpopular opinion, I really liked Exo Zombies, and dude, I've been playing since World at War. No, Black Ops 1. I've been playing since Black Ops 1. I liked Exo Zombies. I thought it was fun. I did not love it, but I really liked the last map, the Trident map. Was that not the last map? I think it was the third map. I don't remember. The Trident map, I actually really liked. I'm not going to sit here and argue that it was objectively a good map. Descent, that's what it was called. But it was fun. I had fun with it. Look, I'm an easy person to please, you know? Like, if I have fun with it, and if I enjoy it to some degree, then I like it, you know? I try not to overanalyze it. But no, seriously, X-Men, Iron, both of you, thank you so much. Thank you. I seriously appreciate that. Look, if you dislike Advanced Warfare, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna argue with you, but I just like it. I just like it. By the way, shout out to YouTube. So, some of you guys have probably seen this. YouTube has this feature where there is now and tell me if you see it on my chat right now. I don't know if it's there because I don't have it pulled up in that separate window, but YouTube now has this AI chat summary feature, and I was very impressed. Look, pointless feature. Like, I really do think it's a pointless feature. Oh, here we go. Are we starting? Anyway, it actually accurately guessed what IOT meant. It was like the viewers are showing excitement for what's about to happen via the term IOT or something. Like, it got really specific. And I was pretty impressed. All right, are we starting here? Is the stream starting up? Are they going to be like super quiet like last time? Because usually the streams are pretty quiet, so I'll try to shut up a little bit when they start. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. Let me turn this up.
Welcome, good day, good evening, good time zone to you all, and welcome.
That's as loud as it goes.
We're coming to you live here from beautiful Bungie HQ in Bellevue, Washington. My name is Andy, and I work on the social media team here at Bungie, and today we're thrilled to get to welcome all of you into a very special stream, talking a little bit about what's to come with Act 1 of episode Revenant, launching just next week on October 8th.
And I believe everything drops at once with Act 1. Not Act 2 and 3, but...
about Codename Frontiers. But worry not, just like always, you don't have to listen to just me tell you all about it. We have some amazing folks from the Bungie development here.
They are going to touch on Frontiers
as well. And I say there's no time like the present.
And with my
hey, Hurricane, thank you so much. God damn, that's loud. I'm sorry.
Hurricane donated 14 Australian dollars and 99 cents. This one is for missing out on the raid lock
so
after
much,
party. I'm mad I missed it, lol. Now return back to our usual Toadsmoothie.
Thank you so much, Hurricane. I appreciate you.
Can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do here at Bungie?
Sure. And with my Rat King, we're gonna...
X-Men, thank you so much.
X-Man 123 donated $19.99. Just finished the screen video and now catching the live stream. Let's go.
That's not my department.
That's all right. You know, we're here to we're crossplay friendly. It's okay. And
turned it
then
up. Thank
also
God,
sitting just next to him,
was-
someone who is
that shit
joining
was
us now
loud.
in front of the camera,
Or
previously
quiet.
a member of our behind-the-scenes fire team who does so much of our heavy lifting, the one and only Clayton Kisco, staff designer here at Bungie. Clayton, welcome.
Thanks for having me. How you doing?
Doing well,
Curious
thank you.
if
And
they'll
hey,
show
second verse, same
Icebreaker.
as the first. Can you tell the folks
Really
at home a little
curious
bit
to see if
about
they
who
show
you are and what you do
Icebreaker.
here at Bungie?
Yeah, so I'm a staff designer here, and I work primarily within the activities department. So I am in charge of building the skeleton and framework of the activity, developing the encounters and the boss fights.
Iron
as well, and
0117
building
donated
everything
79 Australian dollars and 99 cents and made Shaq sing. Don't let Toad
you
hear
make the
the
stream
stream.
louder.
Thanks to you and yours. So
Thank you
for
so
your time,
much.
Clayton.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And sitting just next to him, someone that needs no introduction, but will
seriously
still risk
appreciate
it
it.
anyway, just to make sure everyone's all caught up. The one and only senior, or the sandbox craft lead
Oh,
here
yeah.
at Bungie, the one and only Mr. Chris Proctor.
Oh,
Chris,
yeah.
how's it going?
Oops.
Good, thanks, Andy.
So anyone
We
who
love
may not
little
have
Chris
seen you on
Proctor.
the Into the Light streams in the past or heard you in podcasts around the community, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do here?
Yeah, so I'm Chris Proctor, Sandbox Craft Lead on Destiny 2 here at Bungie.
I like that little
I work with the
animatic
rest
they
of the
got going on
Sandbox
down there. It's
team
cool.
and Destiny leadership, other teams, to make sure that we're always hitting that gameplay quality bar that Bungie is renowned for. I occasionally also make a few things for the game.
Yep, it's not an easy job, but we thank you all for doing it. And also, I want to note, chat's
Seriously,
calling you
y'all,
out
thank you so
immediately.
much.
You're getting a lot of love already. So thank
Oh,
you so much for
yeah.
taking the time to join us today. Now,
Chris
we're going to go ahead and
Proctor
dive into episode Revenant, which again is launching just next week on October 8th. But before we go ahead and dive into that,
So I believe we've seen
Jerome,
three exotics
we're on the verge now in the last
conceptually
week of completing episode Echoes. Can you tell us a little bit about the story that got us to where we are now?
Sure.
Sure, absolutely. Well, let's
still haven't
start with the
finished
death of the
Echoes,
Witness,
Okay.
who
That
we
guy.
Still have not
thoroughly
finished.
destroyed.
Absolutely.
His giant, smoky, billowing head dissipated
Yeah.
into a mist of darkness, which then coalesced with the
sorry,
Traveler's
Vic.
light,
Yeah.
right, crystallizing
dangerous.
into the Echoes.
Yeah.
Which
What the fuck
fell
are these
into the Soul System.
subtitles?
One of those fell, of course, to Maya Sundaresh, which we know from episode 1.
Yeah.
These are
And it
distracting.
fundamentally changed how the Vex saw themselves. And now we're going to get the same treatment
Thank you,
with
Taryn.
Yeah,
the
great.
Scorn,
So as we
because one
see-
of the Echoes will be followed
Maybe
to
Taryn
Fickle,
donated
leader of the undead
$1.99.
army.
Yeah.
Hey, you'll never
And
be able to
similarly,
hear the
that Echo is
stream.
going to prompt the Scorn to evolve, to see themselves in a new way, and to fundamentally
Okay.
change what they are.
So
And
did
I
Maya
won't
get
spoil
an Echo?
anything. I'll
Is
let
that what happened? She got an
players
Echo?
discover that for themselves. But suffice it to say, Thickrel is evolving his army, he's growing his army, and in order to build Scorn armies, you need a bunch of corpses.
Interesting.
Which is not necessarily in the best interest of the
Yeah, she
Elixir.
got the
So
Echo.
we will be teaming up
Yeah.
with Mithrax.
Speaking of
Echo of
Fickle, we see him right here as well. Now we're taking a look at the new
That is so
art for
cool. Oh
episode
my
Revenant as
God.
well.
So
Fickrell's
that
gotten a
is
bit of a glow up. I think.
badass.
Absolutely.
Both
This
kids.
this whole episode is metal.
Look at the armor,
and
too.
I
Oh,
think that shows it right there. That accurately
Dude,
depicts the
I
tone
already
of
like
the season.
the tone of this. It's just better than
It's
Echoes,
not
to be
messing around. I
honest.
will say we won't watch the trailer today, but when folks see the trailer, you're right. Metal is the right word to use.
So much slaying. It's going to be
Serious.
awesome.
Yeah.
No trailer. Name. This drops next week,
But
guys.
the Elixir,
next
of
week.
course,
Yeah,
great. So
want
as
to
we
prevent
see,
this, and so we'll be teaming
Red
up with
Troop
Mithrax,
donated
Telepath
2
Light, and his
Australian
daughter,
dollars.
Ido, the adorable
I forgot about
Ido.
hearing.
Must be
Who I
It
love
scares
at
me.
all costs.
Absolutely.
Thoroughly, yeah.
And
Ido
she
is
will be bringing
involved.
her expertise in herbology and ancient elixir lore to help us craft tonics to imbue us with the power that we need to battle this evolving Scorn army.
Interesting. That is, thank you, by the way, for not only, now you've narrative directed us into our segue as well, so thank you very much. Narrative design
Okay.
as well.
So
And
Ido's getting
I
involved
think we
again.
should go ahead and
That's
dive
good.
into a little bit of gameplay. Starting over here with you, Clayton. So we just heard a little bit about some new tonics and everything. Can you tell us a little bit about where we are and what we're going to be doing here? This is the new apothecary, I believe?
That's right. So we're in the apothecary space, and Jerome was just mentioning the tonics and potions that we'll be crafting. They come in 2 flavors. They come in combat flavors, and they come in reward flavors.
Okay.
The combat flavors are going to enhance,
some exotic
or
ones
rather
down there.
boost your artifact perks, specific ones.
Yeah.
Higher rarities of these tonics will boost multiple artifact perks, which is
Interesting.
really great.
Okay, yeah.
And then on the reward side, we wanted to create a new or novel way to
I just realized I'm
chase
not full
your
screen right now.
gear and your weapons
Sorry,
that you
guys.
love.
Yeah.
And we took a lot of inspiration from the success of Into the Light, where players got to attune to specific weapons. And so with your reward tonics, you'll be able to attune to specific weapons within the season.
Very nice.
They're not craftable in this season,
Okay.
which is important to note, but you will be able to target them, and they'll have
They're not
enhanced
craftable.
perks.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. So you'll be able to go ahead
Anyone
and chase
else
down
get the
that
vibe
god
that
roll you're
Bungie's
looking
moving
so desperately
away from
for,
crafting?
with the help of this. But
They've
also,
never
for
said
the build
that.
crafters
I'm
out
just-
there,
that's
they're
the
going to
vibe
have
I'm
even
getting.
more to dive into than maybe just the episode artifact and everything.
Maybe
These
they'll
are gonna go
become
ahead and help just
craftable in,
boost a lot of those
Act
traits,
2.
I
I don't
guess.
know.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Personally, I don't
So
craft,
build
so
crafters,
I don't really
make sure
care.
your appetites are whetted and ready. There's going to be plenty of stuff for you to go ahead and dive into. But we're going to go ahead also and dive into some of the meat and potatoes of today's stream, proverbially speaking. As we're on our way over to Onslaught, Clayton, I just want to go ahead and also start there.
Another
Onslaught's getting
Onslaught
kind of a new
stream.
revamp this
Oh, okay.
episode as
Wait a
well.
minute.
You guys have left proverbially very few, if any, stones untouched this time around.
Correct. Yeah. And so, we heard players' feedback. They wanted to see us invest in Onslaught. We are coming out with a brand new Onslaught called Onslaught Salvation.
Yeah.
We are going to have
Onslaught Salvation.
3 maps that you'll be
I'm guessing
Interesting.
all
in there. We'll have
darkness
some new
themed
defenses. We'll
foes.
have enemy factions that will be fighting into the theme
Yeah.
of this episode. We'll have the Scorn. We'll have the Dark Cabal.
That's right.
A
Yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of other new stuff.
I hope we
that
see
can
some
get
like
into.
different
Excellent. Yeah,
skins
we'll be
for
diving
the
into that here
Scorn.
briefly.
I
You
wanna
can
see
see our
some
fire
different
team
looking Scorn.
is now on their way. While we're on the way over as well, I heard a brief mention of our friends in the Shadow Legion as well. Can you tell us what the Shadow Legion is doing here and why they might be in league with Fickrell, Jerome?
The Shadow
following
Legion are bumming. They are in utter disarray. Their leader has been slain, and they are grasping to anyone who can keep them in power.
Yeah.
And Fickrell holds the most powerful artifact around now.
Got it.
So they will be doing his bidding, though it will be a tenuous alliance.
they're going with Fickrell's Riz just for right now, but that may not be the case later on.
That's right. We will do our best to stomp that out.
Thank you. All right, fair enough. Much appreciated. All right, so now we are here. We're in Onslaught. We're on Widow's Court.
It's a grenade launcher.
So PvP
Whoa,
players
okay,
will
it's a stasis
recognize
grenade
this
launcher.
map, and
This is
they'll also
one we've
recognize
seen
some of the
bef-
changes
Oh my God,
that we've
there's a
done
lot going on.
to accommodate for
Okay,
the
so new
slaying, the
stasis
amounts of
grenade
slaying that is
launcher.
necessary for an onslaught.
It's a primary weapon, by the way.
A
It
quick,
takes
a quick
primary
refresher for the
ammo.
folks at home that
This
may
is the
not have
stake
dove
thing that we
into
saw.
Onslaught recently or since Into the Light. There is the 10 level mode, and the
Mountaintop
50 level
2?
mode, isn't that correct?
Right, so Onslaught Salvation will also be coming with the 3 modes that they've
And it's on Widow's Court.
had in the past.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
also
the
on Widow's
playlist,
Court.
10 wave mode, the normal 50 wave mode,
Cool.
and then we'll have our expert
Dude,
50 wave
turrets?
mode.
Okay,
And
that's
the
awesome.
New thing
That's
about Onslaught
actually
Salvation,
awesome.
one of the new things is that
One step
it will
closer
not
to
be
combined
power
arms,
fixed
man.
like it was prior in Into the
One
Light.
step
Prior-
closer to combined
power
arms.
enabled,
That is
so your armor and your
awesome.
weapons
I
will
love
matter
that.
even more.
Yeah.
It will be at the start more
Airstrikes?
difficult, but you
What?
can, through getting better,
Dude,
more power
this is
and
so
you
cool.
know, grinding that artifact level, you'll be able to kind of outweigh that
They weren't
difficulty.
kidding.
Yeah.
And you'll also be able to rely
They
on
were
some
not
new
kidding.
defenses as
Yeah,
well.
I was going to say,
Onslaught's
we were
getting
just looking
makeover.
at a turret that maybe Guardians haven't seen since their days on the moon in D1. Can you
Yeah.
tell us, like, what's going on?
Yeah,
We got some new
First Light.
defenses, obviously.
We have
Look
some
at
new
that
defenses. So
grenade launcher,
Ashley Baker
man.
is one of the tech designers we have. She's on the fire team right
What
now,
is
and she has
happening?
helped us build these defenses, as well as other things in Onslaught. And she's worked with the
there's some
sandbox
screens.
teams who have knocked it out of the park with this rival turret.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a standard rival turret at first, but by upgrade
we seen that in
3,
D2?
it's going to have more health, it's going to be dealing more damage, but it's also going to have scorching rounds come out of it.
Okay.
And what the cool
Scorching
thing about that
rounds,
is
that's cool.
that if you have
Dude,
build
imagine being
crafting
able to
with,
build more-
with fragments or what have you within
Wait, that's what
scorching,
you guys said.
Yeah.
that will play off that if you're
Oh,
the
that's
rider.
so cool.
Very nice.
That's
okay.
so
you can go ahead and really scorch
Imagine if you
everyone
could
to
build
everyone
more
as
into like
possible.
vehicles
Enemies,
and
those
engineering.
annoying
That'd be
demolitionists
awesome.
that come in front of the ADU and scare the hell out of you.
Yeah, they do. That was my words, okay? They do scare that.
Yeah.
All right. So in
a cool looking nade launcher,
the
man.
subject or the
That's
topic
really
of
cool.
new defenses, so we're bringing back the turret from yesterdecade of Destiny, but also there's some other ones available as well. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe some new
We saw
defenses that are on the way?
airstrikes.
Yes, so the other one that
Those
we
are
have
Banes,
is the
by the way.
Airstrike,
That's a meteor
which
Banes.
will have 3 cannons when you purchase it, or upgrade it. They'll be replenished there. And what that allows you to do is essentially mark anywhere on the ground.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is
And
the
when an
airstrike.
enemy or
Just
enemies
through.
run over it, a giant beam it will come down from the sky
like the
and
Lightfall
obliterate your
campaign.
enemies.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep a little bit of the secret for higher upgrades. I want to
No, that's
reveal
fair, that's
everything
fair.
here, but there's some
Okay.
really nice.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Nimbus liked that. We'll just go ahead and put that.
That's
there.
cool.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, so just to double check as well, with the airstrikes, it's not just you plant it and it fires. It actually has to wait for someone to kind of trigger that. I
Waits
guess.
for someone to come over. Yeah.
So this
much
is
like
the
the
airstrike.
tripwire, which
Yeah.
we are also updating.
Yeah.
For Onslaught Salvation. We've heard the feedback about the tripwires, and we want to bring their value up a little more. So now they're going to be exploding.
I
in
know
stasis
117
fields,
donated 7
and higher
Australian
upgrades
dollars
will be
and
creating
99
stasis crystals
cents.
for you to
Super
play
chat
off of,
jump
for your
scare.
stasis build,
Yeah.
stasis weapons.
So-
and then I'm happy to share that those updates will also be available in the original Onslaught as well.
Very
Okay,
nice. Okay,
so the
all
trip
the
mines
updates that are
are
happening
now
to the defenses that are available
stasis.
in
They
Onslaught
can be
Salvation will be available in the traditional Onslaught mode as well.
Just the tripwires, yeah.
Very exciting. Okay, nice.
Okay.
Good to see.
Yeah.
That's
While we're
cool.
on the
That's
topic
cool.
of stasis and obviously looking at our tools for destruction, Chris, I'd be remiss if I didn't try and bring up
Yeah, the
the
grenade
new breach
launcher.
loading grenade launcher
Yeah.
that our fire team here is getting a lot of
Primary
use out
ammo.
of. There's obviously a decent chunk of new weapons arriving with Revenant, but let's start here. This is the new seasonal, or pardon me, episodic exotic.
Yeah, this would be the Season Pass exotic.
Yeah.
It's the Alephamin Stasis primary ammo grenade launcher.
Yeah.
So we've only had one primary ammo
gonna
grenade
be
launcher before, which is
interesting.
Fighting Line.
Oh yeah, fighting line.
Which is
Love
getting,
it.
getting buffed
Same
this season
now,
as well, actually. It'll
That's right, yeah.
make enemies volatile when it hits them. So
Notice he said
serial
season,
kill
by the
cutting,
way.
particularly in
Yeah.
PvE.
Even
But
they're
anyway,
not calling them episodes, guys.
So
Even
this is
he
a bit
just said
different because
season.
It's also a projectiles travel in a straight line, so like mountaintop.
Yeah.
Hits pretty
Wow.
hard.
Okay, so it's like a micro
But the
missile.
exotic part of it is
like a
that
micro missile.
as you defeat enemies, you will gather these remnants, which will fill up the exotic bar, which you can see in the.
It's like
the
Verglass
hardline.
Curve. It
like
sounds
that.
like Verglass Curve.
It's the shade.
Oh, they're an expert.
No, that's true. Yeah, this is.
Yeah,
We
I wanna
should
see
note
someone
for
get
the
turned.
Guardians at home. This is an expert mode, so they're
it is
taking
a
the hard
tough
way,
activity.
obviously.
But yeah, so
I'm
when the bar
continuing
reaches
my
50%,
campaign.
you
Bungie,
can special
please,
reload,
come on.
and your next shot will launch a special ammo brick for you and your allies to pick up.
Very nice.
And when you reach 100, you can special reload and launch heavy ammo. So this lets you really go in on a new type of support role, which
Yeah.
is like ammo support, which we haven't really seen. in the game.
Still sounds
Yeah,
like
I mean,
a
honestly, think on my side, I really just spend a lot of the time getting like the Seeker and Finder mods on my helmet, but it seems like a nice additional way to go ahead and make sure that you're really feeding the fuel, pardon me, of the heavy ammo burners like myself who have been addicted to microcosm recently. So
potentially you could have one person in the fire team go all in on ammo generation.
Yeah.
The other folks build
Very
something else.
Also, so
Yeah,
Clayton, when it comes to
like
the other
Thorn.
stuff that's arriving
it is kind
with
of like
Onslaught
Thorn.
Salvation, are there any new things we're looking forward to? I know that we're obviously fighting the evolved Scorn, but are there any new bosses or anything people can look forward to?
Right,
Bricks.
so
It's also a support
the
weapon.
Fickrel Scorn are also going to be coming out with
Cool-looking
what we're
shotgun.
calling the Revenant Baron.
Okay.
And that thing is scary, and you'll see it on wave 6 here in a second when the players are instructed to go into like a Revenant nest and go and save the Elixni from being captured.
Yeah.
These Revenant Barons, they stalk the area, and when you kill them, they will create a Revenant totem which flies in a random direction, leaving a trail so you can kind of like stalk it, find it.
Yeah.
You have to kill it before it would respawn the Revenant Baron.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's some
it's like a Hive Guardian.
gameplay there.
It's like a Hive Guardian.
We
We're
also
gonna
have
see it in a second here. There's also
reward
Dread here, by the way.
side. Starting on
Also
wave
Dread.
30, set 3, players will have a small chance to get a fully masterwork double perked episodic weapon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and on
cool.
expert,
It's-
if
so
we're
it's
playing,
like a shiny?
if you remember the bonus chest on harder difficulties will show up. So if you're playing an expert, you have 2 chances.
Okay, all right. So really make sure you're pushing through those final levels. Try and hit that ceiling of level 50 so you can really facilitate the loot grind as much as you can.
100%.
Something we mentioned
a new nade
recently in
launcher,
one of
too.
our Dev Insight vlogs as well are Banes, which are going to be making an appearance here in Onslaught. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so we'll be, with the expert mode only, we'll be having Banes throughout
This is like the pyramid ship
activity,
section, yeah.
and we'll also be adding
It's a
mods.
double shooting
So
shotgun, is it really?
It's really nice to have them show up because they add another layer of replayability into expert. You don't know if you're going to get the gaseous one where you're, like, you got a shot on you, or if you have to break line of sight, but it adds a fun variability within the gameplay. So every wave feels different.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have. Oh,
So, yeah,
please.
we'll have
I
Banes
just
in
wanted to
here.
point out here,
please.
you'll notice 2 things. First off, the fire team is tracking that Revenant Baron, just like you said.
Yeah.
And also freeing captured Elixni. And as to why people would want to keep Elixni captives alive, I'll save that for the players to discover.
Sounds devious.
The other thing is that you'll see Crow
So that's
chiming
the
in a lot.
Baron.
He's features prominently
That's
in the
the Baron.
season.
Right, yeah.
Because he is inadvertently, of course, responsible for creating Fickrel, and so it's his responsibility as the new Hunter Vanguard to rectify his old problem.
I will say I'm just more
you can't be like,
interested
hey
in
man,
this
that was
story
Ultron.
than
That wasn't me.
Echoes. Like,
He's
I
gonna
want to
step
see
up and
what
take responsibility
Fickrel's
for
up
that.
to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Old Fickrel's fickle out there. Even to that same end too, we're going to be hanging out with Crow, with Ido, and with Mithrax, obviously at the main kind of part of the story. They're going to be the ones that we're going to be hanging out with the most, you'd say, or?
There will
Where's
be
Aramis, by the way?
some other
Where
Elixni,
is she?
some venerable old school Elixni that poke their heads in that you'll see some drama with. I won't say any more than that.
Fair.
But it
Barracks,
will be in
maybe?
everyone's interest to see Fickrel go down here.
Okay, got it. A little bit of enemy, my
Okay.
enemy. In this case,
Exactly.
they're all.
If Aramis comes in and defeats
Fair
Fickrel,
enough.
that'd be kind of cool.
Actually, really
kinda
quickly,
cool.
Clayton, I know we kind of touched on several different subjects here between the different defenses, different enemies, the different kind of structural opportunities that Onslaught Salvation has provided you. What was it like, sitting down with a team and sort of looking at this new refresh on this activity? Like, did you guys take any big challenges for
I
yourself?
wonder
or,
if
like,
this
we
is
want
taking the
to
place of the seasonal
do this?
activity.
Yeah, we
Onslaught
knew
here.
we just wanted to build and
Onslaught
evolve
Salvation.
and just do more.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
It's a metal episode. We want to do Onslaught. Let's metal it up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So things like the turret, things like the Revenant Baron, we really want to play into the themes of this kind of haunting, spooky episode.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that in the roll dart. You're seeing that in the different defenses and the mechanics that we're bringing in as well. Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention too is we are updating the moth yards from the original Onslaught.
Oh, really?
We've heard feedback from there.
Oh, yeah.
Taking a little bit longer.
That's
Our goal is to bring that in line with the rest of
And
the
no
maps
one
of
was
the
playing
original
moth
Onslaught,
yards.
so
Yeah.
we're making some updates there to get that to go. a little
Very
quicker.
exciting. So reasons, obviously, to dive into all versions of Onslaught as we go ahead and move into Revenant.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Actually, and
that's
while
the
we're here,
Warlock.
out here, slaying out as best as we can against this new undead army, Chris, we're going to have obviously a slew of new episodic weapons arriving this time.
Yeah.
I know we've kind of spoken about this breach loading grenade launcher. Are there any other notable ones that you're most interested in, or most excited, rather, I should say, in bringing back?
Yeah, there are a few weapons that
Oh,
I'm
look at that. Yeah,
personally
that's the
chasing
heavy
rolls
brick
on.
mode. He just
I'm
swapped
particularly
modes
fond
and
of
generated a heavy
the
brick.
double fire stasis grenade launcher.
Yes.
Only the third double fire in the game, and the other two are energy slot.
Okay, like
Yeah.
Boiler
So
Flight.
you'll be able to run this in your kinetic slot. It's got the new perk Envious Arsenal, which is like directly targeted at damage rotations. So whenever you do damage with the other two weapons, the weapon reloads.
Yeah.
So you can just cycle between your weapons, get it back, and it also has
extra
dual
core?
click, which on a double fire is particularly cool.
That's
It's got,
devious,
hit
honestly.
fire
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
There's also some cool synergies with the new perks on some
This
of the other
grenade
weapons.
launchers, I think
so
it's
the
gonna
hand
be
cannon
pretty
can
good.
run the new perk Rhyme Stealer,
Yeah.
which every time you shatter a stasis crystal or a frozen enemy will grant you frost armor,
Yeah.
which is the new verb we introduced recently.
Right.
You know what we gotta
And
do? We
they
gotta
can
do
also
a
roll
blade
headstone,
dungeon.
which will generate stasis crystals.
We should do
Yeah.
a
So you've got
blade
this, like,
run of
self-contained loop there.
Vesper's
Yeah.
Host.
Submachine gun is an arc precision, and that's got the new perk. Shoot, what is the name of that?
My memory's failing me. Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it ties back into Jolt, right? Like the
Right, thank you.
Vault Shot is great, but it requires a reload on your weapon after a kill.
Yeah.
This one's triggered on sustained damage, so
That's right.
you'll jolt the target, and then the perk I'm going for in the other column is Loose Change, which every time you apply a debuff gives you a reload speed buff. So you'll be constantly having.
Yeah, I do
that
kind of
loop
hope they
cycle.
bring back shiny weapons.
And
'cause
also,
that was
so
a
we're going to
nice,
look
you know,
at the
carrot
new
on the end
artifact
of
here
the
in a little
stick.
bit once we go ahead and move through this final wave of what's in front of us right now. But there's also, it's been featured a little bit in some art about Destiny's 10th anniversary, an exotic of yesteryear, we'd say,
Yeah.
for all the
Yeah.
Guardians who have been
Breaking
sticking
the
around for a
emergency
while,
glass.
rather. Icebreaker is returning.
Breaking the
Yeah,
emergency
yeah,
glass.
Icebreaker is coming back. It's something
Yeah.
we've
What
been
does it do,
holding
though?
off on doing just because the ammo economy issues that are introduced in Destiny 1
Sure.
were pretty dire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got a version here which we think lets you get back into that fantasy of just like always having uptime on the weapon
Yeah.
without letting you just hang back and like plink away at enemies from range, which
Yeah.
we never liked. So
Yeah.
the way it works is assists and final blows with other weapons will just generate ammo for Icebreaker.
Got it,
It's
okay.
got like a 10-round magazine, which is also the same size as reserves.
Yeah.
So the play is that in between boss damage phases or something, you and your team slay out, and as long as you're
Yeah.
getting assists or kills, you'll come back in fully loaded.
Got it. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Destiny 1, there wasn't actually any
That's
ice to
still
break, right?
pretty
so
good. True.
this time, we actually have a bunch of ice that you can break. I won't go into details, we've got limited time.
Oh, is
Fair
there going to be
enough,
some
okay.
stasis?
Yeah,
like,
this stasis
tie-in?
episode will certainly be giving people a lot of reasons to
Lot of
break
stasis
the
this
proverbial ice by the
episode.
sounds of it. No, that's very exciting to check out. Now, while we're still here, let's go ahead and check out the new
Okay, well, that's
artifact gonna be
Icebreaker.
arriving.
That's Icebreaker.
We love getting a chance to show all of you folks this early, so you can go ahead and start your build crafting.
It's still gonna generate ammo, just
but Chris,
not
I know
passive.
obviously last
You have to
time
get
around,
kills with other
if I
stuff,
had to
and it
kind of paint it
generates
with a
ammo.
meta, I'd say rather it'd be very focused on sniper rifles, solar. If there was a similar theme for this particular artifact, what would
what are
it be?
those arrows?
So it goes very hard into stasis.
Yeah.
Like touches all of the stasis
Yeah.
verbs. If you want to make a stasis build,
Aramis
you
has
can
gotta be a
amplify it in
part of
bunch
this
of ways
somewhere.
Yeah.
Here, we're also adding a bunch of grenade launcher perks. So we've got overload grenade launchers, which is great. Like
Grenade launcher
taking
and
those,
stasis.
like
Grenade
super
launcher
deadly
and stasis.
overload champions.
Donovan
Yeah.
is going to be very
Also
happy.
bringing back a variant of like everyone's favorite grenade launcher
Yeah.
artifact perk, Breach and Clear.
Oh yes, yeah.
So you can weaken enemies, and then when you boost it, you can get the second part of that old perk. We were saying
yeah.
earlier, you can boost artifact perks with the potion system.
That's right. Yeah. I also will admit I'm very selfishly excited
I
to see
wonder if
anti-barrier scout rifle
Onslaught
back.
is
It's
the
been so
seasonal,
long.
Anti-barrier.
the
I've
seasonal
missed it.
mode. They haven't said
I'm going to
anything
pretend
about
like that's
the
just for
seasonal
me.
mode. It probably is
benefit
something
today.
else.
We're trying something a bit different with this artifact
also
as well.
Act
in
One.
that,
I
so
forgot
the,
there's Act 1,
the
2,
first
3.
column is all anti-champion mods,
Yeah.
and the final column is all of the pinnacle ones, like the capstones for your artifact build.
Is that not
yeah,
how
yeah.
it always
But
goes?
columns 2, 3, and 4 are roughly equivalent in power, which will let you mix and match them more freely.
Oh,
instead
yeah,
of
Witherhoard's
feeling
gonna
like
go
you have
hard
to
this
like go for
season.
the top tier ones. They're all
Right.
usable.
It does
Yeah.
kind of look
It's less of
dull,
a
doesn't
linear
it?
escalation and more of just a mix and match in a lot of
Right.
ways. Very exciting. Okay, so there'll be plenty of opportunities for players to go ahead and amplify their builds, go ahead and really lean into one play style. If, again, you're like me and want to run double grenade launchers, this feels like a remarkably great season to be doing that, especially with the Fighting Lion buff. Thank you for sharing that with
I
us.
know this is something a lot of people are probably not
But
going
I
to
believe
like. A lot of
that actually
veterans.
wraps us up for this particular segment of
veterans
Onslaught.
might
But
like
there's
it.
also a couple more things that I wanted to go ahead and tease
100%.
for the arrival of Act 1. For starters, an old favorite strike is going to be making its return. The Inverted Spire is returning. But Clayton, it's
Okay.
not coming back exactly as people remember it, is it?
Nope.
that one on
We're
Nessus?
taking an approach and adjusting all the encounters,
Yeah.
and you'll see more Vex than what you're used to.
That's true. I can confirm. My compatriot on the social media team, Mitch, showed me through it a little bit. The only thing I'll spoil is if you like death lasers, you're going to have a great time out there. And then in addition to that, there's one more thing we wanted to add in. Arriving with Act 2, mind you, of Revenant, and I'm going to read this to make sure I get it right, inspired from a fan favorite activity from Destiny's past. We're going to go ahead and bring back an activity, but we're not going to tell you anything outside of that. So chat, speculate, let us know what you think. Go ahead and shout us out on Twitter or wherever it is you like to hang out online.
It's not
no. With that, I think we're going ready to get ready, pardon me, for the next
Do
segment.
they really have Icebreaker and
gentlemen, thank you so much for
SRL
taking the time to join us and share a
the
little bit
emergency
of what's
glass?
arriving with Revenant. We appreciate your time so much today.
Yeah, thanks for having
It's
us.
a pleasure. Thank you for
Vex,
having
I'm
us.
with you. I hope
It
it's
takes a lot
combined
to make me look
arms,
good, so
but
thank you guys for stepping up here and helping out. I appreciate
I
it.
don't think.
Now, as we
don't think it's
transition into our
combined
next stage, we've got what
whoa,
we've called
look at
in my
those.
notes the cool stuff segment, and I think it lives up to that. So we'll go
time.
ahead and show you a little bit
I hope it's
more
combined
of what's
arms.
to
I
be
think it's
arriving
SRL.
with,
Either
with
one would be
Revenant,
amazing.
including
Either one would be
what you're seeing
amazing.
here on your screen right now. This is the second earnable skimmer that's going to
Those
be
are
arriving in Destiny
earnable.
2. The aptly named, we'll wait for it to highlight, the Zerfboard.
The
I'm so glad that was the name that stuck. As you can see, it features some
That's
very unique
awesome.
9 style
That is
styling,
so cool.
inspired by Zur himself. Both top and bottom are very arted
you get it
up.
from Dares?
The top's obviously a little bit more visible here, but if you do a sweet front flip or back
that's
flip, if
cool.
you're capable of it, you can go ahead and see all sides of it. Notably,
so
this is
cool.
going to be earnable. So if you go ahead and start saving up those strange coins now, it's going to cost you 97 of them.
97
so if you're like me and
strange
spend your
coins. That's
weekends
cool. I like that.
spending
I
all
like
those
that.
extra strange coins at Zur to go ahead and get more rolls on your exotic class item, maybe save up for a week or two.
Wow.
Also,
That's
because
cool.
I work
Feels
here,
like
I've
the
started
good old
saving up
days,
already,
saving up
spoiler
your
alert.
strange coins,
But
you know?
the Zerfboard will be available with the arrival of Revenant. So make sure and go ahead and
Zerfboard.
grab the first earnable skimmer since the Guardian Games. In addition to that,
All right,
we
if you
obviously
missed
have
the
mentioned very recently that we're going to be having a new dungeon arriving with
Yes,
Revenant,
Vesper's
and
host. It
as a
looks
part of
really
this, we're
good.
going to be doing
It's
a
really
dungeon
good.
race in cooperation with our friends over at Twitch Rivals. We've put the sign-up link out there. It's available on our social media channels or on the TWID, or if you prefer your URLs phonetic, it's bung.ie/Twitch Rivals. You can go ahead and head out there, sign up with your fire team, and make sure that you're ready to go ahead and take on this new challenge, which will again also
Good luck to
provide
everyone
some
who does.
additional
We're not gonna
chances for
race.
Bungie
We're
rewards.
just gonna try to
You can
beat
see
it
here
on
on
contest
screen,
mode.
we've got a
wow.
look at the hoodie that will be
That's
earnable
pretty
along
cool.
with the bracelet. But perhaps what's most interesting about the hoodie is that as a part of the dungeon race, if you're one of the top 3 teams to go ahead and cross that proverbial finish line, then we'll be able to ship out a special embroidered version with your gamer tag on it as well.
That's cool.
So make sure and go ahead and dive on in and prepare to try and cross that finish line first. And now we're also going to take one quick look. Festival of the Lost is going to be arriving with Act 1 of Revenant as well.
Okay.
And if you all remember, you took a chance to vote on some
I
armor sets for
forgot about
yourselves. So Hunter's
these.
up first. You can see here we've got the Evil Wizard set.
wow.
I myself am very looking forward to adding this to my collection. The Evil
I
Gothic set is just going to
completely
only dial up more and
forgot
more.
about these. Didn't
Up
Titans get
next,
the
our
good
friendly
one?
neighborhood Warlocks. You've got
Titans-
this to look
yeah,
forward
Titans got the
to,
good-
including what I think we
Wow.
affectionately refer to as probably the coolest pants we've all
Those
ever seen
robes.
over here at
Yeah,
Bungie.
it looks like
and
Daedric armor.
breaking out from the crowd,
There
the
we
good
go.
wizards this time around. Titans, you
I
went ahead and voted for it
completely
this
forgot
way.
about that.
You're going to be you're going to
like
have the
it.
chance to go ahead and add this into your arsenal
it.
as well. So make sure that you're prepared
shoulders
to
are
go ahead
actually
and
really
dive on
nice.
into Festival of the Lost and grab this stuff once it's available.
Oh, dude, there's gonna be so many
and
good
I'm gonna be
festive
doing that,
videos
so
we
maybe
can
I'm
do.
just projecting. But either way, make sure and get ready to go ahead and update your
right.
fashion where you can.
There's your Festival of the Lost armor.
But now we get to move on to our
Frontiers?
second segment of the show, where we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about what's further on down the road. So we've talked about what's just around the corner. Let's look forward to Frontiers.
Okay.
And here to help me discuss those topics today, that topic today as well, rather, are these two fine individuals to my left, which you've met at some point or another. But again, we'll make sure and introduce them to everyone out there in the crowd. We'll start with you first, Allison. Allison, how's it going?
It's going so good. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
We're up so early. I'm doing well, thank you so much.
Good.
Allison, obviously narrative director here on Destiny at Bungie. Can you tell anyone who may not have seen you in a Vidoc or one of our past streams a little bit more about yourself and what you do? you?
Sure. So I'm the narrative director for D2. It is me and my team's job to tell stories. It's our job to take care of our characters, of our arcs. We make you laugh. We make you cry. We make you have feelings that you normally don't
Yeah, she
have
definitely
to
wrote
have
that
in your
Kate
usual
ending.
day-to-day life.
I was raised not to feel
Kate
feelings, so it's a very upsetting experience when I do.
Feelings are
so-
distressing.
Oh, yeah.
I understand. We also get to plan future things, planning ahead for the arcs to come.
Yes.
And the
that's what
saga
you're
to
talking
come.
about. I know, the whole new saga. We'll have a little bit to dive into as well today.
All right,
know,
I'm
so
tweeting her
excited.
after this.
And then
Race
also,
them
as we
on
see
fire.
her, Robbie
Gerald
Stevens, assistant
Apondo
game director
donated
at Bungie, and I've not had a chance to
$1.99.
interview since back in my
Video
Mixer days,
idea
but
Shadow
if
is
you've
at
tuned
Money
into these
Gang
Bungie
Raid
streams in the
Edition.
past, you've seen him as well. Robbie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Andy. And I think you've grown a lot since those days.
Thank you. It's been so long, right?
Yeah.
My badge changed and everything. For the folks that may not know you, or may not know what a game director does, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so one of the main things I do as assistant game director for Destiny 2 is I work on the creative direction and vision for where we're going with Destiny coming up in the future with Codename Frontiers. So I get to work with our game director,
right people on the
Tyson
couch for
Green,
this.
and Allison Lurs, our narrative director, and a bunch of our other creative leaders on how we shape the future of Destiny to come.
Very exciting, which we are going to be diving into now. I know we've obviously released some blogs about the Codename Frontier stuff already. If you've been out on Bungie.net
I'm not
reading the
expecting
Dev
them to
Insight
really
blogs,
say
there's been
anything.
a good amount to dive into. But our friends over on the
Anything
community
super
team
new.
as well have been helping us kind of, read more into what the audience feedback has been and what the players are saying. And so we've had obviously some topics come up that I think we should just go ahead and dive on into.
Let's do it.
Let's party.
Absolutely. Okay, that's the right attitude. Let's party at this early in the morning.
Hell yeah.
Always the answer I want to hear.
It's 10
so,
o'clock for that,
Robbie, we'll
isn't
go
it?
ahead and start with you. One of the things we said is that these expansions are going to be medium-sized. Can you help us understand a little bit more about what that means?
Yeah, definitely. So expansions are changing going forward with Codename Frontiers. And so our philosophy behind this is moving from one really big, all-consuming tentpole moment that kind of takes all the oxygen in the room at one point in the year to two what we consider big tentpole moments happening in each year. And so those tentpole moments coming twice a year now are going to bring with them fresh content and new stories that are going to move the world of Destiny forward. And to answer your question directly, the way we're kind of looking at the size of these is similar to like Rise of Iron from Destiny 1. But this is happening like twice a year.
Hey, dude, Rise of Iron was good.
So,
Rise of Iron is some people's favorite expansion.
What's kind of the reason we're
If that's
talking
what they're
about this, the
shooting for,
shape of the box here
I'm
that
chilling
we're
with that.
filling
That's
is
pretty
that what comes with it is like each expansion is going to have its own unique version of a campaign and post-game experience that you can dive really deep into beyond the initial playthrough, similar to how things like the Dreaming City or the Pale Heart from the Final Shape had worked, where those beyond those initial campaign experiences, there's like further things to explore and secrets to uncover. And so making our expansions unique and deeply replayable is a big goal for us, in large part to support all the new gear and the new tiering of gear that we're putting into the game.
I like me a
right?
replayable
And so
campaign.
It's one about each of these
also fun.
expansions. Again, they're going to tell a really compelling story as part of our next saga. But I really want to stress that they're also going to be unique
I hope it gives them the chance,
experiences,
to dive into
unique
more
campaigns
unique
across
stuff,
games.
and stuff they may
I
not
know that's something
normally.
like, I've kind of overheard some of the conversations
gone
where when it
into.
comes to these expansions as well, obviously the corollary we're using today is Rise of Iron, but like these are going to be brand new experiences, things that we just like haven't released before in the past.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that as well? Or
Yeah, definitely. And so for Codename Apollo specifically, the first expansion coming up with Frontiers, you're going to journey to a Metroidvania-inspired destination, right? That's our guiding light for how we're creating this new location.
Yeah.
And so this new destination is going to feature a nonlinear campaign that puts you, in the driver's seat of exploring its world and its story. So this is very different from the past, where you're kind of following a very linear mission structure or line.
Yeah.
That's very simple in many ways. And Allison actually recently talked a bunch about this in a blog post.
Yeah. So when we made the decision to lean into that Metroidvania structure, we knew that the narrative structure had to match, had to complement that structure as well. And so the way that we're going to treat nonlinearity in Codename Apollo is when you arrive at our destination, which is a new destination, you'll be able to decide if you want to go to Region D or Region C, or maybe you want to go check out B, because that's going to be where you get the ability that allows you to access Region A, so you you can talk to that character that you really like.
Yes.
We really want that sense of the player
think that's
being
what
in the
she meant.
driver's
I
seat
don't
of
think
being
that's
able
what
to
she meant.
decide where and how they want to explore and discover the secrets that we have in the world.
Yeah.
And whichever of those different choices that you make doesn't negate the others. We want you to explore every crevice inside
I'm really
of
interested
the
to see how they do the
experience.
non-linear
And to help
campaign.
support that, we've structured our story in a complementary way.
Yeah.
So we'll have the normal kinds of like activity dialogue that you normally experience in a campaign, but there's also between 25 and 30 different threads of stories that you can discover and chain together after you complete an activity.
Yeah.
There's so much richness to discover that we're
Yeah.
creating.
You see that little thread of that shining rock somewhere, you can really just afford to pull on it
It
and
could
just
be
dive in.
great.
Absolutely,
Like
that's
the
what we want to
non-linear
do.
stories
Okay,
could be
that's
great.
awesome. So
I'm
actually, let's go ahead and stay on the topic
cautiously
of story here for
optimistic
just a second
about
as
that bit,
well. I think that there's been
I like
some
me a linear
conversations about the
story
future
sometimes,
of
but we'll
narrative
see.
Destiny, which has obviously been so central to the
Yes.
experience, so core to our characters and our stories. There's been some concern that maybe the new structure might not afford the opportunity for as much story in the past. Can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what you guys are planning and what that means?
That would be news to me if
Yeah.
it suddenly vanished. I like what
Allison,
I do.
please stay. Yeah.
Please
Yes.
don't let
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this how we find out?
No, story is destiny. Like what makes
Yeah.
Destiny Destiny is that beating heart of story at its core.
Yeah.
That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The thing that this new structure allows us comes in two parts for story.
Mm-hmm.
Like part one is pacing. With these 2 tentpole beats a year,
Mm-hmm.
the feeling that the world is changing and growing and moving is going to come much quicker now,
Yeah.
which means that we can move the plot along
that's
at
what
a
I'm
much
excited about
quicker
personally.
pace than we used to.
Totally.
Part 2 is focus, because these are much more focused
'Cause the annual
releases.
expansions
we
are
don't have to
awesome.
worry about padding the sides with
But, you know,
a
they
bunch of extra
happen,
stuff
and
to
we've-
kind of
we've
fill in
all
the space.
seen
Like,
the
nope,
drop-off
we are
afterwards.
zeroing in
It-
on exactly
it
what
happens
each of these
every
releases is
single
trying
year,
to
you know?
communicate.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so
down
that
with them
means we're
trying
going to
something
tell
new.
a more focused story and
I know
with
they've
pacing
done this
that
before,
keeps
but
up
the
with what
structure is
fans
a bit
want.
new.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, too, it's interesting because, obviously the narrative is one big part, the story you're telling, the words on the page. But another part of it, given that we have the unique opportunity with a medium like video games,
Yeah.
is how players interact with it. We've seen some
Yes.
comments online and some notable conversations about, go talk to Vendor X, head over
Yeah.
to the holodeck and say hello to this other
Yeah.
person, go back to Vendor X and shake their hand one more time.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that structure, what you guys are planning on?
Yeah, it drives us bonkers too. Yeah. No, we believe that everything should be questioned, right? Like we
Yeah.
should be questioning that structure and we
Yeah.
should be reinvestigating it. And starting with Revenant and especially when we get to Apollo,
Yeah.
we're going to be deliberately shaking it up. By the time we get to Apollo, that loop, that pattern is more or less gone.
Yeah,
We're shaking things up
Okay.
a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Allison spoke to it earlier, but all those threads
Hey,
that you're pulling
that-
on, right?
that's-
Like these are
that's a
characters
statement.
out in the
That's a
world
statement.
that you're exploring and discovering, right, as part
Yeah.
of your journey here.
Yeah.
And
Look,
so
they're
it's not
claiming
you
that
going to the
seasonal
same
loop is
location
more or
where
less
you
gonna be
expect to
gone
see
by the time
someone
we get to
delivering a
Apollo.
piece of
That's
information
interesting.
to you between, specific missions. It is like you exploring the world, finding these people, pulling on all these different threads in order to discover things within this weird and wonderful
Exactly.
place.
Yeah.
The feedback is loud and clear. We want to keep the player out in the world, out and exploring, and get information to them
Yeah.
for a change.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're listening.
And also, I will say, Allison, you didn't arrive empty-handed. You've got some cool concept art to share with us as
I
well.
brought some goodies.
Okay.
I brought some presents.
Thank
I
you.
brought some birthday presents. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy
It's your
birthday, everyone
birthday.
who was born on
Looking
Their
October
at
live
1st.
chat
art
is
is
vile.
always a
It always
It's a
is.
good way to go about it. It's better than wrapping
Chats and
paper
comment
covering
sections
PlayStation.
outside of this
true.
one and
It's
some
true.
other
Let's
content
go ahead and take a look.
creators
So this is
are
we've got up on
almost
screen
atrocious.
kind of one of our first pieces of concept art from the future. Can you tell us a
wow.
little bit about what we're looking at here?
No,
What the
I
hell
can't.
is this?
On purpose.
What is-
What I can tell you is that this is
What
some
is
concept art
happening
of our new destination, which, like I said, is a new place that we haven't been to before.
Yeah.
Which means that these people that you're seeing are
new-
people that we haven't met yet.
New planet
We're
or
going to
moon, I
learn a lot
guess.
more about them, and I love this piece because the longer that you look at it, same
Yeah.
with some of the other art that we've shared so far, the more you start to see things that are kind of familiar
Yeah.
all the way out at this new location.
Yeah, it's like
so. Lots of fun things to discuss.
What's the symbol
betting
on
it's
that
a
banner?
new,
Is this a
like,
seance or a wedding
system.
ceremony? Who knows,
I know,
right?
and
Yeah.
I'm not telling.
Telling a single soul.
Nope.
Okay, all right. Plenty to dive into, including
X,
we've got
imagine
another
that.
piece of concept art is here as
Yes.
well.
Something we talked about a
things
lot,
10
and
months,
I
thank
think the
you.
last concept really spoke
wow.
to it is like when we're, especially
Is
when we're
this the
developing a
same
new
place?
destination.
This is the same
like
place,
this,
I
like
think.
we really think about like what is a storied history that's happened here. What's something that players can like really sink their teeth
How
into
big is this
and dig
destination
deep
gonna
into.
be? I
And
have to imagine.
going into this concept, something
It
that I
can't be
love about
that
it that's really
big,
resonant with me with a lot of the early creative discussions we had on it is that we wanted this place to feel like an exotic world that is just tailor-built around the joy of discovery, right? And then so within this new destination in Apollo, you're going to be discovering powerful abilities in order to uncover secrets in this location and in order to carve a path to the great mystery at the heart of the planet. And that's what like these concepts, you know, when I look at them in retrospective as the team is now actively like building a bunch of this stuff. It's very evocative for me from that feeling of like, hey, how can, it's something Tyson and Alice and I talk a lot about is like, how can we get that like grand mystery in that game, that feeling that there's something right around the corner, that like it's kind of at the heart, has been at the heart of Destiny for a long time. And as we've been closing down the Light Dark saga, it's been an amazing roller coaster ride, but we want to expand and grow Destiny and we want to change it. And you know, that's what I think these concepts are starting to speak for us, trying to show not just us telling of like, some of that direction.
I mean, it's exciting to see because I think one thing I've heard you guys talk about a lot as well is, you know, just the inspirations that you want to obviously provide the players who build these new worlds. But you guys have been diving into a lot of crazy subject matter just on your own to get inspired as well. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of some of the fun reading or listening you've been doing as you've been going through this?
Sure. One of the fun parts about being a creative is that you have to fill the tank with something. And so that means doing a lot of research, finding a lot of other targets in media, or even just like what music you're listening to while you're working on a script, right? I know for our team, something that really inspired us was music of the 1960s. We've listened to a lot of early prog, a lot of King Crimson, and a lot of, oh gosh, The Doors and Jefferson Airplane.
They're not showing us much. They can't show us
there's a lot of Slaughterhouse 5
I don't know what they're
inside
expecting.
of this.
Cheery. Esther, we're IOP in the
we
chat.
love to look for inspiration outside of just games because there's so much in the world that can fill that tank and get us inspired for what's coming next. And we also look to television.
Come on,
I mean, TV and movies is like talking all the line. I mean, Allison as the narrative director.
We can do it. If Duck did it last time we did one of these,
I'm a little bit more of a visual guy.
Is that a nice way to say that? Okay, cool. All right.
Social media and TikTok have rotted us all.
They've just rotted me.
But yeah, like when we talk about like all this inspirational media, like one of the things Destiny also being a sci-fi game that we talked a bunch about was for Apollo was Scavenger's Reign. That's something that Allison, remember in early concepting we were talking about, and we're like, oh wow, that media, that TV show is so great because like it's familiar in some ways, but as you get closer and you really look at their world, it's really strange and different and weird and mysterious, and it really kind of just builds this halo of allure around it that is something that really spoke to us when we're thinking about like how can we introduce something new to the game at the top of Frontiers.
That's exciting. All right, so there's obviously a lot of new inspirations. We had a chance to look at some concept art, but Allison, I got to put you on the spot this one last time. Do you have any other teasers for us or anything you can give us before we move on to the next subject?
I got a weird one.
Okay, even better.
Okay. So imagine going to a mansion, like a really nice, really big fancy house.
Okay,
and
not just in the tutorial to Tomb Raider.
No,
Okay,
like a nice,
okay,
So you're going in and looking at like a parlor room or something, and maybe the owner of the house tells you there's a secret door somewhere in here. And you're looking around and you can see the door that you came through and you can see the window, but it kind of looks like a dead end, like there's nothing in here. And everyone knows that a good secret door comes from like behind a bookcase. Like you go up to a bookcase and pull on a book or a little statue that's been in front of your face the whole time, but you just haven't had the focus on it yet. And if you pull on that, it opens up the secret door, and suddenly what was a dead end looks like an entryway. And that's what this saga is.
Okay, that's very exciting. And it won't be like Young Frankenstein where I get stuck in the door.
You will not get stuck in the door. No, I will not let anyone get stuck inside the door.
Not even for comedic
Find the bookcase. Murph.
Okay, all right. Thank you again, Allison, so much. There's obviously a lot of cool stuff to dive into, but we'll let you and yours keep crafting. But we've got also one more subject as well. Robbie, I'd love to bug you about one more thing, if that's all right. So we've seen some feedback on reward tiers and how there might not be enough variation in loot for players to go ahead and get encouraged to go ahead and keep chasing down more gear. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're all building right now and kind of what that means to you?
Please elaborate.
Yeah, so this is like very valid feedback, just acknowledging that in the first place, because you know the first thing we announced was just like, hey, there's some new tiers, right? And then obviously, you're going to look at that and go like, well, I have a bunch of amazing armor and weapons now, so like, why does this matter in the future? And so. Totally, that feedback makes a lot of sense to us. And so what's really top of mind and has been for us for a little while now is how we can make not only chasing gear within individual tiers interesting and the whole system interesting, but also how we can make those higher tiers of gear compelling to chase, right? To have that mountain to climb. And so that comes in two forms. that I can talk a little bit about today. One I can go a little more in depth on, which is our next generation armor.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming with Codename Frontiers.
I really want to hear about
And then
this.
we have some really early thinking for weapons.
Okay.
And so for armor, yeah, let's start there.
Yeah.
Is that okay, Andy?
That's perfect.
Keep
If
in
you
mind,
wouldn't
guys,
Robbie.
this is
I
all
would-
like
I would
Okay,
be happy
thank
to.
you.
a little under a year out, so there's
let
a
me
lot
lean
of time.
into it to focus a little bit.
More than
so
that,
for
even,
next generation armor, we really want to make armor valuable again. We want to make it easier to understand, and we really want it to have create new build crafting identities.
Yeah.
That's something that's like really close to home for us right now because we've had a similar system for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And so part of making it valuable, easy to understand, new identities is going to, one of the big pieces is going to be a large stat rework to the armor pieces themselves. And so there's going to be fewer stats on each individual piece of armor. So it makes it way easier to quickly compare pieces of gear and be like, oh, this one's better than that one. I'm building into a specific, discipline, strength, whatever.
Sure.
And you can better understand that. That also means that there's going to be fewer things we call dump stats.
Sure.
Like you looking at a piece of gear and going like, oh man, it only gives me +5 resilience. I don't really want that.
Trash it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like there's still going to be cases where it's like, oh, it has a lot of resilience, but that's not what I'm building into. But it's just going to be way easier to just glance at stuff.
So I guess
and
they're
find out.
consolidating.
But beyond
stats.
that, right? Like, how can we answer that question of how can next gen armor have this new build crafting identity?
Yeah.
It also we want to bring new things to the table.
Yeah.
Right. And so part of the stat rework, we're going to go beyond 100, Andy.
We go beyond
Beyond
sometimes.
100.
Yeah.
Beyond
We've gone
light.
beyond light.
Oh,
That's
boy.
right.
Yep. Beyond dark with prismatic.
What
This
else
makes
is
sense.
there?
Yeah.
Now we're going to go beyond 100 with armor. Who knew? Like, who knew that's where we go?
It was hidden in the lore book somewhere, I'm sure, right, Allison?
Yeah,
Right?
sure.
Right? Okay. All right. Thank you.
No, we'll
Some
let
triple
double
100
check
people
that.
out there
Yeah,
losing
don't,
their
but
minds.
beyond one-
don't check our homework. Yeah. So when we go, so what I mean by going beyond 100. So let's talk about strength, for instance. And so this is some early thinking from the team.
Yeah.
So in the 1 to 100 range, it would still reduce your melee cooldown like it does today. It would still have that, so that would still be really easy to understand. But then from that 101 to 200 range, beyond 100, every point into strength at that point would then give you a chance in order to activate a second melee when power melee becomes charged. So basically you get double melee. You get to double throw your shields or double throw your knives or throw whatever warlock, space magic stuff they throw. I don't play warlock.
I'm a hunter.
Yeah,
I get
so-
it. Yeah.
I don't play Warlock.
I can't jump, sorry.
Withering blades.
Yeah.
For days. That's it.
He is on
But
my side
really, like
about
the key
this
thing
too.
to there,
Warlock
right,
jump
is like that
ass.
starts to create an identity for what you want to build craft into. That's very different than just like, oh hey, yeah, I'm building in a melee lower
So
cooldown.
Pat,
That's
from
cool.
100 to 200,
But now
the
you can
more
start
you
build
spec
crafting
into
into
it-
like, okay, I'm going to regularly, especially at the higher end, start to get double melee charges, right? And so
you'll
the
have
other thing
a
we're
chance
considering
to,
right now
like,
is also
double up on
renaming that
melees.
stat from strength to melee, so that it's just very specific
Yeah.
when you look at the gear and kind of like know what it's
Cut right to that chase, right?
yeah. Another big thing that's coming with next generation armor to the game is set bonuses.
That's interesting.
And so this is something, I know, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like, they're back.
So ready, yeah.
We've done like some small versions of it in the past. They've been like individual releases, but we're looking at this as like a holistic new system that's coming with pretty much every piece of new legendary armor set that we create, starting with Frontiers.
Okay.
And
So
so
it's like an
these
origin
set
trait,
bonuses are going
I
to come in the
guess what he's
form
getting
of
at.
wearing 2 or 4 pieces of a 5-piece set. So that gives you flexibility in order to wear an exotic at any point.
Totally.
And then also allows you to mix and match different sets. So you can actually start looking at like gear and go like, oh, I have tier 1, tier 2 of one set, tier 3 of other, and I actually want to like mix match them together for different combinatorics for different build crafting identities.
Yeah, so it's like an origin trait.
I'm getting like
but they
really
can
deep into the weeds
stack.
here, but the thing that's like really exciting about this is that like one of the perks the team is playing around with that these new set bonuses could give you could be one that's built all around like Tex Mechanica style play, which is like all about hip firing, right? And all about that yeehaw.
Yeah.
And then like the more you build into that, you're going to be buffing your Tex Mechanica weapons.
Yeah.
And so that's just like one example. But yeah, it's the whole space is just going to like really expand and just become a lot easier to
I'll be
to
curious to
manage in
see
your
how
head
much
and
of an
also
impact
build
that actually
complexity
like
into.
has.
So I just
you know,
I'm super stoked.
Yeah, no, you guys obviously have been
The
doing a
armor
lot of great
people
stuff. So
decide
we've
to
touched on armor here briefly.
wear.
All that sounds awesome, but can you tell us a little bit more about weapons and kind of how they're going to evolve as well?
Yeah, so we're a little earlier on weapons right now.
Okay.
We wanted to talk about next gen armor because we have a lot of juicy, good plans coming together right now. But for weapons, the thing I can say is that like in the game today, we have higher tiers of weapons to chase, like adepts and raid weapons, right? And so those things with them come with exclusive perks that basically, cut above the noise of other weapons you might be earning in any individual release. And so we know from the tiering perspective of weapons themselves that like, hey, we already have this kind of touchstone for us that we see that works pretty well. And it's like, so it's really like, how can we meet or clear that bar, right? Like, how can we create those exclusive chases at the top of that aspirational mountain for players to climb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, additionally, too, we've heard some concerns that, obviously we're going to maybe be over-indexing on just bringing back reprised weapons. And Guardians will just be out there chasing down something and re-earning something that's just sitting in the vault anyway. Can you tell us a little bit more about like kind of the weapon chase and what you guys are planning on doing with each, subsequent release?
Yeah, so just to like make sure to clear the air here a little bit, right? Like every expansion, every season, every raid, every dungeon, there's gonna be new weapons, right? We're not slowing down there in terms of like making a lot of compelling new weapon content.
Cool. Okay.
But the thing about reprisals and revisions that I think is true for a lot of Destiny players is like you have that favorite gun, right? You have that gun that you loved at one point in time, and over time it's just not as useful in the contemporary tuning, activity, sandbox, whatever, right? Like just something about it isn't as good over the years. And so like we did with the Brave Arsenal and Into the Light, like that's our touchstone for like, hey, how can we go in and update, fan favorite weapons, bring them back, breathe some new life into them, and make them interesting to use again. And I also think what's great about that is that people who never got to use their Recluse or Better Devils or something that we haven't reprised just yet, right? Is like, oh, that's their first time experience with it, and they've heard how cool it is.
To all the Guardians who are going to dive into Revenant and get to try Chroma Rush for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying that gun for the first time. It's so good. I'm glad it's coming back.
It's great.
Okay, that all sounds awesome. So everything that Robbie just spoke to, there's going to be a next-gen article, a next-gen armor article going up on Bungie.net after the stream wraps up.
After. Yeah.
But Robbie, is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, so something that I should probably touch on is like we're talking a lot about like all this cool gear and like, but like there's a question here, right? That immediately becomes posed of like why does it matter, right? Like why do I care about it? And so we've talked a little bit, right, about the fact that there's going to be customizable difficulty coming in Destiny with Frontiers, and then also changes to modifiers and things like that with like the Banes that we announced in the recent blog post.
Yeah.
And so to making expansions deeply replayable, kind of like I was talking about earlier in our section, and then the customizable difficulty,
Legendary
and then the
difficulty's about to
modifier
go
systems.
crazy.
Like these are all things that are being built into a structure so that you're going to need to chase that high tier gear. You're going to need to craft that complex set bonus, perfect combination of Tex Mechanica gear in order to take on some of the hardest challenges inside of the game. And so this isn't just about changing gear. This is also figuring out how we can bring new and interesting challenge to Destiny and how we can really like breathe life into the challenge of the game.
So exciting. Awesome.
Yeah. Should be fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, plenty more information on that to arrive on the blog that's going to be arriving on Bungie.net shortly after this. But I don't think I'm going to be able to top what Robbie just said. So we'll go ahead and get ready to go ahead and close out the stream here today by first thanking all of you fine folks at home for joining us today. We love getting a chance to put these streams on and hang out with all of you in the community, and it doesn't mean anything unless you show up. So thank you for taking the time to join us today. As a reminder as well, there's a Twitch drop going on right now. That's a heads up. You can probably see it pinned in chat, but just to remind everyone at home that if you've earned the Twitch drop, I should say, rather, it will be arriving on your Guardian when Revenant launches on October 8th. So if you don't get it today, worry not. That's by design. It will be arriving on October 8th, and you'll get to put your shiny new emblem on. And of course, a huge thanks to our guests here, Robbie and Allison. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Andy.
Absolutely. And then the folks from our first segment as well, Chris, Clayton, and Jerome as well, Incredible. Thank you so much for taking to join us. And
I know 117 donated $7.99.
Peyton, Ashley, and Justin, thank you so much. Of course, Ashley, one of the folks that helped design a lot of the stuff we looked at today. So thank you all for taking the time to joining us from the throne world, as we call it here, back here in the studio. But yeah, a quick recap. We talked today a little bit about what's to arrive with Act 1 of Revenant, arriving just next week, next reset. It'll be arriving on October 8th. Make sure to go ahead and sign up for the Twitch Rivals Dungeon Race. It'll be shipping out on October 11th. And remember, if you're one of those top 3 teams to go ahead and make your way through, then you'll be able to get the cool embroidered hoodie as well. But there's going to be more information about that arriving on our socials. And then I think that's about it. I think I've concluded my my notes here on my laptop. So again, thank you all for taking the time to join us. Make sure and follow us at Destiny the Game across the board on whatever social channel you like. Make sure and check out our Discord as well. We're making some updates out there in terms of the announcement channels.
Dude, I don't
and
want
keep
to
an
see
eye
what
out for the
people are
Twitch for all
saying
this
in
great
that Discord
information. And
channel.
lastly, but very not least,
I don't
make
even
sure and
want
head
to
out to
say no
Bungie.net
shade to
after this
Bungie,
stream
but
concludes.
dude, people
Read
in
that
the
next gen
community can
armor
be
article.
fucking
We're giving you guys
ruthless.
lots of information. Is it fair? No, but we like you, so we're going to keep doing it anyway. So in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see y'all Starside.
All right, there you go. That is your Revenant stream. That is your Revenant stream. So the key takeaways, obviously Revenant starts next week. You can see the new grenade launcher right down there, actually. Also, that Warlock is holding a stake, like straight up holding a stake. I wonder if that's going to be some sort of mechanic. Anyway, so the key takeaways for this whole thing, minus like, I'm not going to get into the specifics of like weapons and stuff, but Revenant drops next week. Onslaught got a bit of an overhaul, which actually I think looks really good. New grenade launcher, which is primary. It's primary ammo stasis. I'm gonna go ahead and swap over to the intermission screen. Primary ammo grenade launcher, which looks really good. It has support capabilities as well. Yeah, those Grim back there look awesome. Icebreaker, they talked about how Icebreaker works. It's now not going to passively regenerate ammo. Instead, it will regenerate ammo when you get kills and assists with other weapons, which I think is still really good. I think that is still really, really good. I really think Icebreaker is still going to be really, really solid. It depends on how hard it hits, but we'll see. They also implied some kind of like stasis. What is it called? Like a stasis. What's the word? What is it? Like a synergy, a stasis synergy. That's what it is. And then what else was there? They didn't say much about Revenant. Oh, they teased that in Act 2, they showed the Festival of Lost Armor for Act 1. They also teased that in Act 2, an old fan favorite game mode would be coming back. Now, I don't know. Like, okay, it's either SRL or Combined Arms. I think that's obvious. Oh, and the new Skimmer. I forgot about the new Skimmer. But the new game mode is either SRL or Combined Arms. Look, you know me, I hope it's Combined Arms. I do think it's gonna be SRL. I was never like a huge SRL guy. I don't think it's gonna be Prison of Elders. That's too involved, I think, for them to bring back, you know? Because if you're gonna introduce Prison of Elders, which is like an end game kind of pinnacle activity, there needs to be a reward structure for that and all that. No Wrath, yeah, but no one expected Wrath. I think if you went into this expecting Wrath, and from what you guys tell me in chat, DMG already confirmed not SRL? Really? Where did he say that? Because if it's not SRL, DMG is one of the community managers. If it's not SRL, what else could it be? I still, look, guys, I still don't think it's Combined Arms. If it is Combined Arms, the moment they announce that shit, we are getting on stream and we are playing it. I don't think it's Combined Arms, though. On Twitter, he quote tweeted, really? Hold on, let me see if I can find this. Because if that's true, then that's kind of crazy. Let me see what he said. DMG... Yeah, DMG04. By the way, DMG plays Pokemon Go. Yeah, I caught him playing Pokemon Go at GCX. Let's see. You said he quote tweeted it? Okay. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. This is an exact quote from DMG. In response to someone saying Sparrow Racing is coming back, let me just pull this up right here so you see exactly what I see. In response to someone, he said, "Gonna nip this one now. SRL ain't coming back in Revenant. Feel free to keep speculating on which fan favorite activity will be making a return though. Please feel free to keep yelling at me about how much you want it back. Happy to pass the feedback along." Okay, so it's not SRL. It's not Wrath, guys. It's not Wrath. I'm gonna also pull a DMG and nip that one right now. It's not Wrath. Like, I don't know why so many people went into this Shut up, Vex. I don't know why so many people went into this expecting Wrath. They were never gonna announce Wrath today. I don't think Wrath is coming back for a while. I think it'll come back at some point, maybe, but here's the thing. So, okay. So DMG straight up confirmed that it is not SRL. So what else could it be? Seriously, help me out here. The only thing that's coming to my mind is Combined Arms, and I'm trying not to get excited because I don't want to set myself up for disappointment. If it's Combined Arms, I'm gonna be so happy. Look at me, I'm getting excited already. It can't be. Forges? No, yeah, it could be. It could be Forges. I don't see Leviathan happening. If they said fan favorite activity, they would have told us if there was a raid coming, guys. They would have told us. And insiders, from what I've heard, have not heard anything about reprised raids. I don't think Prison of Elders though, because look, I would be very happy if it was Prison of Elders. That'd be cool. But you need a whole reward structure with that, you know? I don't think it's Prison of Elders. I'll say right now, I don't think it's Prison of Elders. I'm surprised that it's not SRL. SRL felt like the logical one, but I guess that also makes sense because they would have had to like pull a bunch of maps in from D1, like do all the overlays and potentially some voice lines. So I could see why they haven't done that yet. Menagerie? Yeah, maybe it is Menagerie. Yeah, you're right. It could be Menagerie.
Yeah.
Hey, Watermelon Boy with the $5.
Watermelon
so
Boy
much.
donated $5.
Warden of the Spring demanded I give
Bordong,
tribute to you.
Warden of the Spring demanded I give tribute
Thank
to
you,
you.
Watermelon Boy. I
Toadman.
appreciate you. Man, oh man, you just threw me through a loop mentioning Menagerie. It could be Menagerie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna expect Menagerie now but that's just because I'm not crazy about Menagerie. I just don't really care for it. Wow, yeah, you might be right about that. I think you might be right about Menagerie. Shadow Legion Leviathan raid. Look, I would love if that happened. I just don't think it's going to. Fan favorites is just Prison of Elders, Combined Arms, Menagerie, or something I'm missing. I think it may be a reprisal of one Trials of Osiris, Trials of the Night. See, the thing is though, Trials of Osiris is already, it's actively becoming a less popular game mode. I don't think they would reinvest times. I'm about to give you a curveball as well. I don't think they would reinvest development time into a previous version of Trials of Osiris. I would be shocked if they did. I'd be really, really shocked. They swapped Osiris to 9? Maybe. But yeah, Belvis, you're picking up what I'm putting down. What if it's Reckoning or Gambit Prime? What if it's Reckoning? You know, at first, the only two options seemed like Combined Arms and SRL. Now I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. Escalation, but we don't have Mars. It was a game mode, not a destination, maybe. That's the thing though, was Reckoning really that popular? Was Reckoning really that popular? And clearly Gambit Prime wasn't that popular because, I mean, they got rid of it because people weren't playing it. That's the thing. When you say fan favorite, I think SRL, and to be fair, I'm kind of an echo chamber. I don't actually know if Combined Arms was a fan favorite game mode. I just know that I loved it. You know?
Yeah, great.
So as we see, Reckoning, I don't know.
Gerald Upon donated $1.99. For the onslaught footage Varix was talking.
Really? Oh, cool. Okay. I didn't even catch that. I don't think old campaigns count. I don't think they count. Why not Trials of the Nine? Because Trials of Osiris is already not the most popular game mode in Destiny. I think if they were going to invest in something like a new Crucible game mode right now, especially something like Trials of the Nine would be like a whole new branch to the Crucible, that not to mention how much that would divide the player pools if it didn't replace Trials of Osiris. You know? I don't think it has anything to do with the Shadowkeep campaign. I know some people are saying 5-year anniversary of Shadowkeep. I don't think it has anything to do with Shadowkeep campaign. Look, I will say, I guess just like closing thoughts on that. I hope with every fiber of my being I hope that it's Combined Arms. You guys know I've been saying it for probably like 2 years now. I think Combined Arms would be... I think Combined Arms is the best thing that could happen to Crucible right now. I truly believe that. I think Combined Arms is the best thing that could happen to Crucible right now. Because it's a whole nother way to play, you know? Bigger teams, even if it's just slightly bigger. Bigger maps, vehicles. It's just fun. Like, I like Combined Arms, if you can't tell. I like Big Team Battle. Do I think it's going to be Combined Arms? No. No, I don't really think so. You guys, honestly, I think you're right when you say it's probably Menagerie or like Reckoning or something like that. But Menagerie, I think, is actually the most likely. Because I don't know if you compare Combined Arms, but look, to be fair, you know, they did just reintroduce this turret into Onslaught. And airstrikes. Imagine airstrikes in Crucible. Imagine that. And you know, they talked about how they did, because the turret wasn't, I guess it wasn't in D2. They had to bring that from D1 into D2. So, hey, it's possible. It could be Combined Arms. I give it I was gonna say 33% chance. I don't know. You said it's probably not PoE because too much of a commitment, but by that same token, we also have no Combined Arms size maps in the game, so you'd have to add all those too. No, but my thing with Combined Arms, so if you compare, and I'm not a developer, okay, I'm not a developer, but if you compare what it would take to bring Prison of Elders as we knew it, as a system, as a new game mode, into D2, you need to bring all the Prison of Elders encounters, you know, the maps and whatnot, and all. I don't know how much goes into that. And you also need to input some level of difficulties and rewards, because no one's going to play Prison of Elders if there's no rewards tied to it. Combined Arms, on the other hand, they clearly already have the turret. We already have interceptors, we already have pikes, we already have sparrows, we already have sparrow control, by the way. They were experimenting with sparrow control within the last few months, all right? Guys, it might be Combined Arms. It might be Combined Arms. Because the thing is with the maps as well, I think if you bring back a Combined Arms, I think it makes sense to just bring back one map at first, you know? I don't think I'm coping. Because I'm not saying that it's going to be Combined Arms. I am simply laying out the facts that we have in front of us, and with that, I'm coming to the conclusion that it is likely that it's Combined Arms. It is likely that it's Combined Arms, I think. And I'm really hoping so. If it's not, it's probably Menagerie, because I just don't know what else it would be, you know? Faction rallies. Yeah, you're cooking. You are cooking. Pantheon Prime. It's not Pantheon, because they also talked about in a recent blog post that Pantheon style stuff is coming back next year. They've already talked about that. I don't think it's Pantheon. I don't think it's Pantheon. And it's not Onslaught, because Onslaught is getting a rework in Act 1. I'm very intrigued by this. That just got me really, really interested. Even if it's not Combined Arms, I'm just really curious to see. Instrumentalist, I don't know if you just got here, but DMG, he actually confirmed it's not SRL. He tweeted out that, and again, the exact quote, I have it right here, is he said, "Gonna nip this one now. SRL ain't coming back in Revenant. Feel free to keep speculating on which fan favorite activity will be making a return though." So again, all we know is that it's a fan favorite activity and it's not SRL. That's all we know. No, you're fine. But so, I don't know, man. I'm interested. Hey, X-Men with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much for all the support, my friend. What if they lied and it's Guardian versus Vanguard Crucible match to keep us on our toes?
X-Men 123 donated $19.99.
Thank you so much,
What if they lied and it's a Guardian versus Vanguard Crucible match to keep us on our toes?
That's the other option. Archon's Forge. God damn it. Why'd you say that, Jedi? What if it's fishing? Excuse me. Look. Take your bets, but I think our most likely options are some variant of Forges, some variant of menagerie or combined arms. And if you want to be really silly, fishing. But I just do not think, I refuse to believe that if it was fishing, that they would lead us on like this. I don't, they would not do that. They would not do that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Iron, oh my God. With 160
INO117 donated 159 Australian dollars and 99 cents and woke the traveler. Time to light this chat up.
Thank you so much, my friend. Seriously, seriously. You are always in here with outrageous support. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, Iron. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God damn. You're insane, man. You're fucking insane. Yeah, no, that shit's loud. That shit's loud because before it wasn't loud enough, so I made it louder. Oh my God, thank you so much, Iron. But yeah, so sorry, that just threw me off. But yeah, I think those are our most likely options. Look, you jump scared the shit out of me. I appreciate you, my friend. Seriously, I appreciate you. I can't make it any louder. Oh my God, Terminator with the $50 super chat.
Terminator 101 donated $50 and made chat sing.
Thank you
Did
so
I
much,
hear a
Terminator.
Donna?
Seriously, thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support, guys. Seriously, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. But final word on that. I'm gonna say, Hurricane. Oh my God, I hope it's combined arms. I really hope it's combined arms. Hurricane, the 15 Australian dollars. Thank you so much. Except the fact that fishing will return. You can't hide from the
Hurricane
truth.
donated 14 Australian dollars and 99 cents. Accept the fact that fishing will return. You can't hide
here's what I'll
from
tell
the
you.
truth.
If it's fishing, I will do a 5-hour fishing stream. If it is fishing, which I give it like a 2% chance that it's fishing. Maybe even less. I don't think it's fishing. If it's fishing, I will stream fishing for 5 hours. Oh my guy, chill out.
INO117 donated 159 Australian dollars and
God.
99 cents and woke the traveler. Screw
Iron,
your ears.
my friend. Chill out. I'm about to whitelist you or blacklist. I don't know what. Dude, thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. Look, this kind of stuff, you know, stuff like the raid lock and all that, it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for people like you guys. So seriously, thank you so much. You turned your volume down instinctively. That's smart. Thank you, man. Thank you. You're incredibly generous. This is incredibly generous of you. Oh my God. X-Men with another
X-Men 123 donated $99.99 and woke the traveler.
Guys.
Another one.
Jesus Christ. X-Men. Guys, thank you. I don't know what else to say. Thank you. I don't know how she's still sleeping. That's really loud. You could probably hear it from outside the headset. Can you even see her down there? Is she on screen? I don't know if she's visible or not. Oh no, my mic is blocking her. Yeah, there's a cat there. Guys, seriously, thank you so much. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough. I really can't. I'm sorry. I feel bad because I never know what to say. Seriously, guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It really does mean the world. But look, you heard me say it. If it's fishing, if Act 2 rolls around in a couple months, and it's fishing. Oh, I'm not cat sitting. That's my cat. Yeah, since we moved, I can have my cat now. So yeah, that is Shadow, my cat. I love her. But you know, actually, will she let me? She's sleeping. I don't want to bother her. If she wakes up, I'll pick her up and bring her over here. Man. Okay, yeah. So yeah, if it's fishing, we'll do a 5-hour fishing stream. Okay, not 12 hours, 5-hour fishing stream. I'm not fishing for 12 hours. I considered it for a video once though. I did consider it. I hope it's combined arms. I'm not gonna get my hopes up, you know, because what I was gonna say about the maps is if it's combined arms, I think you can get away with only porting over one map. You know, if they bring over First Light from Moon, they even mentioned the Moon, by the way. When they talked about the turrets, They said some like longtime Destiny fans, some veterans may remember these things from all the way back on the moon. I think it would be more than acceptable if they brought in Combined Arms and brought one map in to kind of temperature gauge, you know, see if people play it, and if it becomes a big hit, if people really like Combined Arms, then maybe, you know, in another episode or another update, they bring in another map. Because honestly, I feel like Combined Arms is the kind of thing you only need 1 or 2 maps for it to be like really fun, you know. But hey, Vex invasions, I don't know. I don't think that counts as a fan favorite activity. They would lose some trust if it was Vex invasions or like fishing, you know. I think they would lose some trust, but you never know. You never know, man. That has me very intrigued. Also, I forgot to mention, because Shadow got me thinking about it. If you guys have any snake names, I still haven't named the snake. My favorite name so far is Shiro, and I think Sorcerer actually is the one who recommended that. But if you have any names for a baby albino hognose snake, let me know. Shiro is a good name. Shiro's a really good name. That's my favorite so far. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna name it anything silly like The Witness or like Crota, you know. But anyway. That's that for Revenant. I'm gonna be interested to see how this goes next week. I'll be very interested to see how this goes. I'm probably not even gonna watch the trailer. I don't tend to watch the trailer for these seasons because they usually drop like a couple days before the season. I like to just go in and be surprised. There is still, by the way, you know, I won't even bring up a picture because I don't want to spoil it, but I do think they showed us concept art for another exotic that we haven't seen, that was not the grenade launcher. So I'll be curious to see about that. The activity is confirmed on Twitter. No, it's not. I think DMG just said that it's not SRL. I'll refresh, but I don't think he said anything. Yeah, no, he hasn't said anything. He has not said anything. We'll see, man. We'll see. And look, that's the one good thing about the way they're doing things right now is you only have to wait like a couple months. We'll find out what that activity is in like a month or 2. It's confirmed on Twitter to be fishing. Yeah, okay. And that's something, a couple thoughts I had earlier that I wanted to share. 2 things. A, I'm going to be really curious to see if Icebreaker is good. Which, something interesting, this grenade launcher is kind of like the more accessible ammo support weapon, you know? Oh, Vex, I hope. That's like top of the wish list. Name it Jormon. Is that... I recognize that name, but I don't know where it's from. Look, I'm telling you, by the way, you just reminded me, if we ever get our own Gamer Subs flavor or shirt or cup or anything like that, I will campaign to put an EXO on there. I will campaign to get an EXO waifu on that cup. We'll see. Norse World Serpent. Oh, yeah. But so the grenade launcher is also kind of doubles as a support weapon. What I was gonna say about Icebreaker, which I'm gonna be really interesting to see if Icebreaker ends up being good or just like desirable. It sounds like it's a random drop from the dungeon, which I'm here for. I love random drops. That to me is what got me into Destiny. I like chasing stuff. I just like that, you know? But will some people not like that? Veteran Destiny fans, I think, are going to enjoy that. I think veteran Destiny players will enjoy that it's just a random drop from 100% on contest, but after that, it's a random drop. So I'm really excited about that. I would not be too surprised if you heard some people start bitching about it, though. I will not be too surprised. And the other thing I wanted to say is about the 2 expansion model that they have going. The nice thing about that, there's nothing new here, right? No. I still don't have Choir of One. I need to get that tonight. The nice thing about the 2 expansion model, and this was like the first thing I thought, and again, I'm self-proclaimed is not the right word. I've said before, I'm very excited about Frontiers. I'm honestly looking forward to the model that they've laid out in front of us. And if I don't say this, certain people will vulture me in the comments. So let me preface. I know we haven't seen it yet, but on paper and what they've showed us, I'm very excited about it. I'm really, really excited about once Apollo ends, a couple months later, we're gonna start hearing about Behemoth, you know? And as great as the big annual expansions are, when it's over, like I said, it's over. Like when it's over, you have that, it's an exponential fall off until the next one. But what there is potential for under this new model, and again, I'm not saying, dude, if Pluto is a destination, I'd be so down with that. But what there is potential for is once Apollo is done, we don't have to wait that long for the next expansion. And I know there's people who are like, oh, we've seen this before, blah, blah, blah. We've seen a different version of this. It's not the same thing. And this is a very different time, you know? I'm really curious to see how that works and see what actually happens. Because, yeah, I mean, Destiny needs a shakeup, and I hope that this is what they end up needing. But we'll see. We'll see. It feels like we're just getting 2 seasons that are DLC levels of content with updates in them until the next one comes out. That's another thing. There's an update in between each one, and we don't know how sizable those updates are going to be. But if those are like, what did they say was going to be like Into the Light style updates? Were they referring to the in between? I don't know if that's what they were referring to. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I do need to go work on the psychology of a Screep, so I want to get that out. I'm excited about that video. I think it'll be fun. And thank you to everyone in the Discord who sent me clips of Screeps to use, in the Screep video. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna get to use a lot of them. I'm really excited about it. I'll be editing that tonight. I have a few other things I need to do as well. And at some point, I need to grind Destiny, dude, because I want that Red Death ornament before Revenant comes out, and I just have not had time to play. But yeah, and then also, like, yeah, the Bungie live chat, like, dude, and again, I know some people hate that I'm positive about the game, but, like, there is a vocal part of the community that pisses me off. That I genuinely hate this part of the community. I love the Destiny community, but this part of the community needs to just go somewhere else, because there is a section of the community that literally will never ever be happy. They will complain about everything. They will fight you tooth and nail over everything, and then end it with, I haven't played the game in, like, I don't know, insert arbitrary number of days or months or years. And every time I see that, I'm like, homie, if you don't play the game, why are you still here? Why do you care so much if you're gonna end this comment with, I wish I cared? Like, you're just making everyone else's life who reads that just a little more annoying. Just a little more annoying. Literally, just go play something that you want to play. I don't know anyone who's happy, who's leaving the time to drop negative comments on a game that they don't even play anymore. Like, and that's the other thing. People act like Final Shape wasn't good. Like, there are reasonable reasons to be upset at certain parts of the game or the company. I'm never gonna tell someone they have to like something or they can't be upset. But people take it to such an extreme, man, and it is fucking annoying, because you know the kind of person that's leaving the comment, and you know they're never gonna be happy. Bungie could come out tomorrow and be like, hey, yo, Wrath of the Machine is coming out in Act 3 of Revenant, and there's, like, I don't know, 1 million new weapons. And people would still be like, where was it a year ago, Bungie? Where was Wrath of the Machine when you released Crota, Bungie? It's like, what the fuck? And obviously, like, I'm exaggerating. You know I'm exaggerating, but it's just annoying. It's frustrating. And I appreciate everyone in our live streams and our comment sections for just keeping it real, keeping it genuine, and just enjoying when you enjoy and don't enjoy when you don't enjoy, you know? And like, that's the thing. It's like, people are like, oh, well, episodes are just the same thing as seasons. It's like, yeah, you're right. They're pretty much the same thing. I mean, they're just structured a little bit differently. I don't think that's necessarily an awful thing. You know, it's just, it's kind of more of the same, which is part of the problem, yes, but it's also like more of the same, you know? I'm not exaggerating that much, yeah. I'm just like, to prove the point. For snake names, Izanagi, Ariana, Kepri. Kepri's kind of cool. Ophidia, Othello, Cade 7. Thank you so much. Yeah, he's really cool. He's really cool. I actually need to check on him. I need to see if he ate. He ate last week. I ain't checking him right now. Anyway. Yes, spam L since I said you're chill. No, yeah, look, the way I see it is I'm like, I love this game. I still love this game. I'm not going to stop loving this game unless they do something that makes me so incomprehensibly mad that, or just like disappointed that I'm just like, yeah, I'm out, you know? And as long as I'm enjoying it, I'm going to keep playing. And I would advise that if you're not enjoying the game, I think it is best for you and the people around you if you completely distance yourself from the game and stop keeping that connection alive by leaving hate comments and shit, because it's just annoying. It's annoying for everyone who reads them, you know? I'll play until the servers turn off, and hey, if that's what you want to do, like, that's what you want to do. And it's annoying to me when people seem to get upset because you're enjoying a game that they don't. Like, we're allowed to enjoy different things, you know? Like, that's, I don't know, it's not, I'm rambling, I'm yapping, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta work on the psychology of a screed, but thank you guys so much for coming out and joining me. I hope you like the new stream overlay. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm liking it or not. We'll see. We'll experiment with it for a while. I don't know when the next stream is gonna be. I might end up streaming Revenant. I might not. We'll see. We'll see how busy I am. But yeah, dude, I'm sorry. If you thought Wrath was coming back, I think you're a little delusional, because that was not going to happen. It was just not going to happen. But anyway. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole again. Is this Halo music or Destiny music? This is Halo music. It will. Trust you. You know what? You got me. Wrath is going to come back. It's going to come back. Someone clip that out of context. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all the support. Seriously, it means the world. It motivates me beyond belief. And I hope you like the psychology of a screed when that goes out. Hopefully this week at some point. Hopefully in the next couple days. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Lots to do. Gotta go check on the snakes. She's still asleep. Sorry. If she was awake, I would bring her over here, but she's still asleep. But yeah, take care, guys. Maybe I'll see you next week. Maybe I won't. If not, I will see you next week, because the dungeon is dropping next week. So if we don't stream the Revenant dropping,
yeah, great.
We'll stream the dungeon. Goodbye,
Iron 0117 donated $2 Australian dollars and 99 cents.
We'll be streaming that.
Goodbye.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you guys. Take care, all right?
Yeah, great. So as we see,
Terminator 101 donated $2. Bye-bye.